Tonight at 10, there are widespread reports of flu outbreaks in 41 states, and it's led to the deaths of more than a dozen children. How Wisconsin and Madison rank in these numbers.
Officer Hymes's use of deadly force has been determined to be objectively reasonable.
And because of that, the Madison police officer who shot and killed a man while on duty will return to work without being disciplined.
And Madison police released the report of their own internal investigation. So how do other police departments for cities about the same size handle an investigation like this? News 3 investigates. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sarah Carlson.
And I'm Eric Franke. First tonight at 10, we are now hearing the 911 call and police dispatch recordings made exactly 2 months ago as Paul Heenan was shot and killed.
Everything's going to be okay.
David 8, shots fired. Suspect down. We are 10-2.
During a press conference today, Madison police reenacted what they say happened between Officer Hymesness and Heenan. The officer was responding to a call of a possible burglary, witnessing what appeared to be two men fighting. Police say Heenan did not comply with Officer Hymesness' commands to get down and lunge for the officer's weapon. Within 15 seconds, Hymesness fired 3 shots into Heenan. Those actions followed police protocol, Chief Noble Wray saying today. His officer had one option: to protect his own life.
This is the business of policing, unfortunately, as it may be, that from time to time, a deadly force situation may arise where a police officer may have to take the life of someone else to save someone else or to save himself.
Chief Wray also released a 40-page internal investigation summary for public viewing, something he says he's never done. He went on to say Madison police will do everything they can to rebuild community trust. Chief Wray also opening the door to the possibility of bringing someone in to conduct or review similar investigations.
But others are slamming that door shut. Only the night team's Theo Keith investigated the practices of other cities that have extra eyes watching after an officer uses deadly force.
Auditor would begin looking at this case to make sure the internal investigation is correct. It's something that Paul Heenan's friends and family have been wanting from the beginning.
Sadness, but we're not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Paul Heenan's former roommate isn't shocked with the outcome because he's not sure police can impartially investigate themselves. Instead, he says, bring in a panel of law enforcement professionals and civil rights experts to take a second look.
It would be something that, if done correctly, would ensure the kind of credibility that the community deserves and that the police department deserves, frankly.
Some larger cities like Portland, Tucson, and San Jose use independent auditors to review police internal investigations. But cities with smaller populations than Madison do too. In Eugene, Oregon, the police auditor responds to the scene, monitors the investigation, and looks at it once complete. In Boise, Idaho, a community ombudsman reviews the police probe. In Knoxville, Tennessee, a 7-member citizen panel does the review and has subpoena power to dig into a case itself, but not Madison.
I am not opposed to exploring different options as to how to do this.
Chief Noble Wray says he's considered bringing in the sheriff's office for investigations in the past, but mobilizing an outside agency takes time and resources, he says, and could slow the whole thing down.
I believe that we can perform a fair and impartial officer-involved investigation. However, having said that, I do recognize the public's interest in a check and balance.
But at least one other city's police force does bring in an outside agency. In Des Moines, Iowa, their local detectives work with state investigators from the beginning. All fatal shootings go to a grand jury there, too. But after Wednesday's ruling, the head of the Madison Police Officers Union says he doesn't think that's needed or would work here, and a citizen review isn't something he supports.
How do you judge the police use of force if you don't have that level of background knowledge and training?
So what does Madison have? State law requires a police and fire commission. Its scope is very limited. It does not audit or review internal investigations. But a lesser-known clause allows an aggrieved person, meaning someone impacted by the shooting, to bring charges against an officer. The PFC could take it up, but could only recommend suspension, demotion, or discharge. Dane County DA Ishmael Ozan, who cleared Officer Hymesness of criminal liability, told News 3 on Sunday that he has raised the question of appearance to police before, but he says he's comfortable with this internal investigation.
There is going to be somebody who is going to ask you the question. If you do your own investigation, they are going to ask the question. I'm not saying that they shouldn't do their own investigation. I'm not saying that they aren't the best trained to do the investigation, to do any of these investigations.
We should note tonight that some cities we checked with do things very similar to how it works here. Dan Fry at the police union points out that no matter who investigates officer-involved shootings, the vast majority of the shootings nationwide are ruled justified.
A lot of cases you see it caught on the squad car dash cam video. Not in this case, though.
No, there's no hope of seeing that sort of thing here because in Madison, patrol cars, the dash cam video only turns on when the officer manually activates it or turns on the lights and sirens. Himes didn't do that. But here's an indication of how things could work quite well. In Omaha, Nebraska, police released this photo showing a recent police shooting and how it was necessary. This is a suspect with a gun and using a small child as a human shield. It is very scary to see something like that caught on camera.
All right, thanks so much, Theo.
Hey,